Welcome back to nunchakutricks.com. This is Ken. We are here for 1 month. nunchakutricks.com has been around for 1 month, and in that month we have had 20,000 viewing minutes, which is pretty insane for YouTube. That shows that there's quite a bit of demand. So with that said, I think I'm just going to jump right in. Let's just get into techniques. I have no big philosophies to say today except for just work your ass off. Of all the moves, throws are the least stable. And what I mean by the least stable is it'll take the most amount of training in order to be able to effortlessly do it in a flow. I would say think of it in 3 levels. The first are the ones that will probably not drop, which is anytime your hand doesn't leave the chuck. You could probably do basic passes even. The next level would be a lot of hand rolls, but just keep in mind the more you do hand rolls, the more chances you have of it falling, because as the chain wraps around your hand, you might miss it, you might get nervous, you may grip it a little bit sooner. And the third level, of course, is throws. And the throws are going to be a little bit trickier because now you have no kinesthetic feel to it. You can't just feel that chain and grip it. You have to be able to visually and kinesthetically feel how you've thrown it and be able to snatch it out of the air. And a lot of it requires just training and training and training. Which takes us to the second part I wanted to tell you about with throws. Nunchucks, we call them aerials, which is basically a throw. When you throw a chuck, one of the most important things is, when you first start, is to not give it a whole lot of rotation. So anytime we start working on throws, don't grab it and just slam it, because you're going to have a hard time catching up with all those rotations. So when you first start out, you're going to want to do very slow rotations like that. And I'll show you how to do that later. Just keep in mind to keep it really nice and slow so you can spot it and catch it where you need to catch. The next part of it is to also be able to spot and to see what you want to do, basically, to have the most time in catching a throw. It's going to be a lot easier if you actually grab in front of it. Kind of like when you think of shooting an arrow or throwing a rock at something that's moving. You don't throw it exactly where it's at, or you'll miss it because it's continually moving. So at the same time, you're going to plan ahead. Whoosh, bam. This is the perfect spot. You have that much space. As opposed to waiting for it to get here, you may miss it. See what I'm saying? So 180 degrees, boom, like that. Rip. You guys remember rips. This is in Nunchaku Basics version 1, so if you don't know your rips, just watch the first video. Here's what's going to happen. The hand that's ripping, let's say it's my left hand right now, that's ripping over the right. As soon as my left hand grabs it, we're going to lift it up, and it's almost like these 2 fingers are holding it, and we're going to launch it. Right there. Here's where it's going to launch. As soon as the other nunchuck is about 9 o'clock, what I'm going to do is my hand is going to flick and open. So in slow motion, rip, okay, this is coming across. My hand comes over here, flick and open like that. We're just giving it a little bit of a nudge. You remember when I was talking about a belt and you whip a belt? It's kind of the same thing here. The flick and opening is kind of just like that snap of the belt. So it's very loose, and then all at once, as soon as it comes to about 9 o'clock, my hand's going to flick it and open it. It's a very subtle flick. It's just pushing this a little bit faster than its rotation, but not by much. So that's step 1, is to be able to launch it. Okay, and again, the other side is at 9 o'clock when I do it. So it's here, flick and open. If you want to practice the flick, you can just hold the chuck like this and just practice going like that. It's going to feel awkward and a little bit strange, but you should feel it kind of dive down like that. The only reason why it's diving down is because I'm holding the momentum on the other end, so... Okay. Now if I'm not holding the momentum, it's going to launch it up in the air like that. The second part is going to be, especially as you're first starting, as you flick it, lift your hand up. Lift it straight up. I just hit the ceiling. Okay, so lift your hand up. The reason why if you lift your hand up, it'll slow the rotation down. If I don't lift my hand up, there'll be more rotation, so it'll be harder to catch. So right now, I'm gonna do the rip, and then my hand's gonna launch up as I open my hand. Later on, you don't have to. You'll just be able to do it straight through. But right now, we're going to lift our hand up. I'm going to keep hitting the ceiling, my god. Okay, so we're going to lift it up, catch, bam. Okay, the catch is the next part, okay? So we throw the nunchuck in the air, it's going, my right hand comes up, and as this hits around probably about 2 o'clock or so, my hand's coming down to meet it and it's grabbing. I'm actually grabbing it faster than the rotation of the spin. So your hand has to move faster than the rotation, obviously, or you might like get caught up and hit the back of your hand in the nunchuck. So don't spin it too fast because you may not be able to grab it. So it's moving and snatch like that. So if I'm doing the nunchuck, we do the rip, pull, grab. Rip, pull, grab. In slow motion, as it's going, my hand's chasing it, it's grabbing it, and then the downward pull keeps it in motion, straight through. So, if you don't have to do a rip to make this work, you can even just do it with your right hand, going counterclockwise, and as soon as it's at about 6 o'clock, you lift up and open your hand. You can practice both ways. Rip, lift, grab, or counterclockwise, as soon as it's about 9 o'clock, lift, open, and grab. When I say by lift and open, it's basically 9 o'clock, once I hit 9 o'clock, I lift up, but then my hand opens up. It's almost like a very subtle jerk. Every time I grab it, do you notice how my hand, let's say I grab it here, I don't stop here, I actually pull it down, and as I pull it down, that circular motion is going to put the other one in, it's going to put it right into the spin. So it's spinning around like so. I grab it, and as I pull it down, it's going to take all that slack off the chain, and it's going to be a very tight rotation again. This is probably my favorite catch. There's a lot of different ways you can catch these things, but that's the one I'm going to recommend that you start with. And again, rip, launch, grab. Rip, launch, grab. Or just spin it this direction, launch, grab. Launch, grab. I'm chasing it. Wow. I'm not putting a whole lot of rotations in it, right? I could grab it underhand, but then the momentum stops. I'll either have to manually put it back there, or I'll have to do something else. Up. Once you do this, also practice your other hand. See if you can grab it this way. Do the same throw, but this time, as it's spinning across, this is actually slightly easier because it can fall straight into your hand into a front grip this direction. So, if we're going this way and it's spinning, if I take my left hand and I grab it, it'll actually pull itself into that spin too. So, here, spinning, it's spinning, it's spinning. My hand waits and it grabs it. So we'll try this one. Throw, grab. This is kind of an awkward throw from here. You throw it around 6 o'clock and then you give it an upward lift, and then your right hand grabs it. So if we grab it with the left hand, once it's about 6 o'clock, right, I'm going to lift it up and shoot it this direction. Just basically figure you're making these circles, you're going to shoot it in the same direction of the circle. And then your right hand is going to try to chase it. Now if you shoot it too hard, of course, you're going to have to chase it really fast. That's why I say take it nice and slow. The way to slow down a throw is to give it that up and down motion. Up, catch, up, catch. So now we have 3 of them. We have the rip, catch, the launch, catch, and then the launch with the left hand, catch. See if you can work on that. And then we can do a hyper slap, and we're back here again. 1, catch, 2, catch, 3, catch. Hyper, we're back. Now let's make that a combo. Looks good. One more time. Rip, launch, catch, hyper, slap. We're back. Hyper was in the last video, so if you're not sure on that one, be sure to watch number 3. So that's a good combo. Just keep working on that. Working on, of course, doing both sides. Be able to do the rips with both hands, both directions, catching on both sides. And you can go into those tabletop bounces. Okay, so we're doing tabletop bounces. Boom, boom. Look, we're in the rips again. Oh, man. What had happened here? I accidentally caught the chain, and now I have fudged it over so it doesn't look like I made a mistake. I'm going to show you this. I call this a chain unwinder. It's one of my absolute favorite moves, and it's great if you accidentally catch the chain, or you can make yourself deliberately do this. Here's how it works. Say I'm spinning in my standard counterclockwise right hand motion. I bounce it under the table to change direction. Now we're going clockwise. My left hand reaches out, and it's almost like it's following a straight line across this nunchuck, and this is going perpendicular, of course, and it's going to grab like this. So Here, reach out, let it rest right there. So we're going counterclockwise, whatever, we're doing our moves, right, and bounce, there. Once it lands here, I'm gonna take my thumb and I'm gonna clutch over it like this. So, here, making sure your hand moves in counterclockwise, sneaks in here, and then my thumb's gonna cross over and it's gonna pinch this part of the chain. Now what's gonna happen, as it pinches the chain, I'm gonna rotate my wrist out like that. And what's gonna happen is, it's gonna stop itself right here. So again, watch very slowly. Pinch, twist. I'm twisting with the nunchuck. It'll only be able to go so far before it stops right here. As soon as it goes this direction, we're gonna take our hand and we're gonna pull it backwards and we're gonna turn it into a fist. So our hands open this direction and our hands a fist this direction. And the nunchuck's gonna roll around and it's gonna stop in the exact opposite spot. So it'll look like this. Bounce, grab, open, closed, open, closed, open, closed, open, closed. And from there, you can use your hand and you can just do a pass, like, kind of like how you can, did we work that pass? I don't know if we did. I'm trying to think of what we worked on. If you don't know what to do from here, you can always just try to intercept it and then do a rip. And what I mean by intercept is you see the way the chucks are moving, you know that we can rip if one hand's facing down and one hand's facing up. So we'll go with that one for now. I'll show you more variations with this soon. I mean, you can start working sagittal planes, and you can also start using both your hands if you want to. We can also take it into a throw. I mean, we can definitely take that into a throw. And then we can start working those. But right now, let's just work on getting that feel. So, tuck, rest it on the hand, spin it around. It's pinching with the thumb. So here we go. Open, closed, open, closed, open, closed, open, closed. And then find a way out of it, however you feel comfortable. The best way that I could say right now is to use your right hand and to be sure to intercept it. When your palm is facing up, you can intercept it right there. Boom, 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 catch, rip, rip. We're back to rips. If you have any questions, definitely let me know. I would love to help more, and don't forget that we have ninja training. If you like what you see, I'm going to be releasing 2 videos a week, one on Saturdays and one on Wednesday, of course. If you want more information, just stop by nunchakutricks.com and just keep spinning away and letting me know like what you want and what you want to see for future videos. Keep it coming.